What's up guys, it's Chucky Child here back with another video, and today we're going to be continuing this castle build. Now, a couple days ago I filmed the first part of this tutorial, and I think that it's time to get started on the second part. Today we're going to be building up the towers that you see behind me. We're also going to be doing some more detailing with walls, and then we're going to be adding some other stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I said we're going to do is build up the towers. And now when recording the last video, I watched it back and I realized that I said if you're on super flat, build up to the block 15. Now unfortunately, I did not realize that on the ground level is actually block 4. So don't listen to me, actually build up to block 19 on super flat. Or if you're not, just make sure you just count to 15. It's not that hard, except unless you're me, and then it's very hard. But see, I told you I cannot count. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep on doing some relaxing building, doing some textures today. Nothing too serious. You know, just to have something to do. So we're just gonna keep on building. I've started using OBS, so I should be able to record longer and longer videos, which is good for you guys because it means that, well, basically that I don't have to upload like several videos, and that you can kind of just watch one tutorial on how to do everything, which was going to be much easier for you in the long run. And hopefully once again, I'm going at a reasonable pace. Now, just so you know, when we did these little, I guess you could call them supports right here, these were not final. They're gonna look something like this, but just if you missed it or you didn't really do it, like we're gonna be adding some stone in. We're gonna do that later in this episode. But what you're gonna do now is just kind of focus on getting this a nice transition from light to dark. You want to make sure that you don't have like one repeating pattern. You know, you want to make sure some are low, some are super high. You want to be irregular. You want to be very irregular with how you transition from the dark, from these cyan terracotta into the stone and andesite, and make sure you're keeping it somewhat consistent, because if you have like something like this where everything's super high over here and then lower over here, it doesn't make sense. So you want to have like, you know, it's somewhat high over here, somewhat low over here. Yeah, you just mix it up. It's not like rocket science, but it's actually pretty hard for a lot of people, including myself. That's why I kind of go over it a lot. It's pretty hard to kind of, you know, make. So next we're going to just keep on going up with our stone and andesite and our light gray concrete, and hopefully when we finish, this looks pretty decent. Now, going back to my recording software, I started using OBS recording, which is as a recorder, which should turn out to be pretty nice, because from what I've heard, you can do a lot of stuff for free, and I don't know how I didn't find out about this, but apparently I'm just dumb. So we're gonna use OBS from now on until the frames improve even more. I know when I watched the video back I published for this first, it's kind of funny, if you watch back the first video I published for this series, which is, you know, the tutorial coming soon, it's laggy, everything's awful and pain and suffering. But if you watch this one, the next one, it looks like actually pretty good. You know, the quality isn't great, but you can tell what I'm doing. There's not as much lag, which hopefully makes it easier for you guys to build this if you do decide to build it. And if not, then that's fine. But hopefully you are able to build this. It is kind of cool if you like knowing people that like actually watch your videos. And one thing you'll notice that I do is I don't use World Edit at all, because I'm a little bot and I don't know how to use it. I don't know how much time I'm losing, but I'm not exactly a speedrunner, so I don't really care about time loss. Unfortunately, it does. I've like seen all these videos where they like, you know, erect these huge buildings in just no time at all, and it just makes me so sad to know I can't do that. Anyway, we're gonna get to the next part of this build, which is just kind of this stone brick outside, and it's very straightforward. You literally do nothing except make a line. So as you can tell, not hard at all. We're going to just do this and then create a 4-block shape, or excuse me, 5-block shape after this, right on top. And it's gonna look like 1, 2, 3, and then stack up 1, 2. And this is where we're gonna have 4 of these going on the outside. We're definitely going to do a lot of wall detailing later, but make sure in this you want to use majority stone, but then add like 1 piece of andesite. This is supposed to look pretty refined, but it depends what kind of look you're going for, you know? If you're going for like a refined castle, maybe you're not going to put so much andesite in, but if you're looking for, you know, something like that kind of looks like this, rough around the edges, you're going to put a lot of andesite in. Then make transitions, you might like add some cobblestone in like I did right there. Don't go overboard with it, but it kind of just adds some character to your build. We'll now be doing the exact same thing, but on the other side. So just, you know, making sure that one side, it just doesn't overpower the other. Just make sure that they're both equal. And just kind of keep on going with it. This area, people aren't going to see as much because, you know, it's kind of blocked, but I still like to. Looks pretty good, even from aerial view. I don't know. I like just making everything nice and detailed. And basically, if you haven't figured out what this channel is, or at least this series is, it's basically just block spam. You're just going to be placing a bunch of random blocks everywhere you can to kind of just try to make this look pretty good. You know, we have our cyan terracotta, and now we just transition once again into our andesite, our stone, our light gray concrete, you know, making sure that everything's not too clumped, but at the same time everything's, you know, making sure it looks like it's not just a block spam, you know, there's a lot of things that come into consideration when building this, and I want to just mad props to Bdubs for, you know, not copying someone's build and like doing this himself. That's pretty huge. Like, I mean, I know like that's his job and everything, but I mean it's still like that's a massive feat to just be able to build something like this amazing, and then, you know, have other people, you know, try to build it, have other people excited about it. I really admire a lot of those Hermitcraft players. Put a lot of time and effort into making some amazing builds. But we're gonna continue building our little castle, and even though it doesn't look like that quite yet, if you stick with us on this 90-part series, I'm kidding, it won't be 90 parts, but it'll be a long ride. Hopefully in the end though, you'll have something worthwhile, you know? I try to do long videos and long tutorials because, you know, there's already enough people on who do Minecraft videos, and, you know, they build like a house in like 10 minutes and it looks pretty nice and everything, but it's nothing like huge and fancy and majestic. Or, I mean, I guess sometimes they look pretty cool to just build, but, you know, that's like for when you do stuff in survival, you have, you know, limited resources. You don't really want to spend so many hours on the same build unless you're like an SMP kind of person. But other than that, you're just going to kind of focus on, you know, building a house that looks nice, but at the same time doesn't cost too many resources. This is not one of those builds. This is kind of when you're just want to make something really nice for your creative world. You want to, you know, like make a map for somewhere or someone, you know, maybe they're paying you money or something like for Fiverr. I don't know. I really do not know. That was oddly specific, but it's a completely different kind of thing, these builds, and so, I mean, that's what kind of sets them apart. And when I say I set them apart, I don't mean like they're better, but I mean they are. And now that I've boasted, let's just keep on going and trying to make everything look as nice as possible, so I'm not a fraud. So we're gonna keep on going, make our nice shapes right here, and once again, just use a mixture of stone and andesite. Does not matter. I like to go for the rule that have at least one andesite per thing. Give it some character. Does not matter. Don't put it in the same spot every time, because then it looks like you just copy and pasted everything. But you know, try to get just a general idea of what this is going to look like. And I mean, if I look at this right now, I mean, it does kind of look like a tower. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's a tower. But I mean, I would be like, it's kind of a tower. It's like if someone didn't finish it, which is in our case very true. But what you're gonna do now is we're gonna go behind it, and we're going to kind of just fill in everything up to here. It doesn't really matter what block you use here. Once again, try to go for that andesite rule or anything else you want to do. Doesn't matter, but it's just kind of like a nice block that you're just gonna make. Obviously, if you're trying to just not use as much resources, just don't like put in the blocks that you won't see, but just make sure you do everything that you will see. So for instance, I would just do this if I was trying to save blocks. And here we have basically the foundation of this tower that we will start on next episode. But for now, it's once again, we're just focusing on the bare bones of this structure. And the worst part is, I mean, it's not bad, but it's very time consuming to build not only the same thing twice, just mirrored, but it's also, if you have rolled edit, that's what will really come handy to have it. You can literally just copy and paste the other side. I don't know if that's how well that it works, but I'm going to assume so. If I sound stupid, just let me know in the comments. But anyway, we are going to start down here, and we're going to try to build the outline of this giant circle that we'll also build in the near future. So what you're going to do now is you're going to get stone walls, andesite walls, and stone brick walls. So if we're just going to go and we're going to get our stone brick walls right here. We're going to get our andesite walls, and finally we are going to get our did I say cobblestone walls? Actually, forgive me, we actually only need the andesite and the stone brick right now for this just specific section. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and just work on these pillars, detailing them up a fair amount. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna stack up. Let's see how many it was. Oh yes, it was 4. I can count, I swear. You're gonna count up 4. These ones can be whichever in any block you would like. I'm gonna do something like this. Don't use stone brick here on this specific one, because there's gonna be plenty of stone brick for these. And then do the same thing. Add some of that, some of that, some of that, and I did not count the amount of walls I need. I'm looking at my schematics. I realized I was not planning on doing this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wasn't planning on doing this episode, but you know what? You just gotta roll with the punches. And it looks pretty good over here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again, does not matter which order you place it in. Does not matter how good it looks. It's fine. Now we're gonna go to our 7, and we're gonna place 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should just be 1 higher than over here. We're gonna go to the 4 column, and we're gonna do the same thing. 1, 2, 2, 3, and then 4. Now I know once again at the bottom we're gonna have some trickery. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I feel like this build gives a lot more creative freedom for the person who's trying to build it, because your patterns aren't going to look the same as mine at the end. It's going to be different, and once again, I'm just mirroring everything now. Just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. This should just be a little higher than everything, and you have kind of an outline of a circle. Kind of. A very, very, very slight outline of the circle. if you want to get a bit ahead of everyone, just get a bit ahead of the curve because you're so smart. Just do 1, 2, 3 in kind of this T shape. And then what we're going to do is, I think we will start just, the last thing we'll do is we're going to terraform this bottom area. So I just personally like to just spam grass blocks when I terraform, because in Minecraft everything's naturally generated, so it basically is just block spam at its core. So, you know, just make sure you don't overthink the terraforming, because unless you're like a Good Times with Scar, who's a hermit crafter who specializes in like landscaping and stuff, the more you think about it, you know, the worse it kind of looks in the end, because, you know, it doesn't look, the goal of terraforming is to kind of like make it look natural, in this case at least. So you want to just kind of put down random blocks and just trying to make a random structure. Anyway, next time we're going to have a very special episode. We are going to be adding a little more to these towers. We're going to be sitting at the very beginning of this giant glass circle. Or not glass, I guess it's not glass, but it's supposed to look like glass. We're going to set out the foundations at a glass circle, and we're going to do a little more detailing. So I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, and be on the lookout for the next part of this series. Once again, thank you so much.